Hi everyone, welcome back to the third episode of Unleashed. In this week's panel, we have Taku and myself from the previous episodes, which you guys will probably remember us from. But in this week's episode, we have two new special guests joining us. They're both youth from Brentwood Avenue Church. So we have Vish, and we also have our sister Joyce. And it's great to have them along on this journey today. And we'll just, we have a question that has come in. And that question that we got in for this week's episode is, if I go on dating sites, does that mean I don't trust God in finding me a partner? So sit tight. We'll open us up with a word of prayer and then we'll get into the question. So if everyone can bow their heads with me as I open us up in a word of prayer. Dear Lord, I just want to thank you for today. Thank you for blessing us, Lord, with another opportunity to come together and record. Lord, I just pray that you pour out the Holy Spirit so that we're able to speak words of wisdom, Lord, and also highlight any points that you want us to talk about, Lord. And I just pray that you be with us all here tonight and with each individual families that are represented here as well, Lord. And I just ask all these things in your wonderful and holy name. Amen. Amen. So guys, like I mentioned before, the question for this week is, if I go on dating sites, does that mean I don't trust God in finding me a partner? So what's your guys' take on that? Do we have any like opinions on that, or because Vish, yeah, you can go Vish.
Yeah, I think it all boils down to trust. Personally, it's just like how it depends. So in the Bible, it says in Proverbs 3 verse 5 and 6, like, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding in all thy ways. So in all thy ways means like everything. You give it up to God. In all thy ways acknowledge him and he shall direct thy path. So if you give all to God, then first thing, you have less things to worry about. Second thing is the things that you do will be according to his will. And the third thing is God will accomplish. He knows already your hearts and what you need, and he will provide. So I think that's a good way to start this. Yeah, you guys go ahead.
Yeah, like just bouncing off on what you said about. Sorry. No, you go, Joyce.
The way I understood this question is that this person is asking if going to the online site is not trusting God, like doing something about it. I mean, them doing something about it is not like them not trusting God. But the question is, where are they going, or what are they doing for them to act on it? Do you understand where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
They're taking for themselves and trying to solve it with their own hands.
I don't know. For me, it's just funny because I think the story that came up to mind when I thought of this question was the story of Jacob, and like how his father sent a servant away to like a land, like a specific land, and to a specific area and family to find him a wife. And it's not like God like brought her over in like a fiery chariot and dumped her right in front of Jacob. Like he had to kind of send someone out to look. And I had a discussion with my dad about this question. And it's, I think, like, well, my opinion on this is that, like, I don't think it's wrong to go on a dating site. Let me rephrase that. I don't think it's that you're not trusting God if you go on a dating site to find a partner, because I think what we have to do is we have to look and we have to do our part. But I think the problem with going on dating sites is like your intentions. Like if you're there for like the hookup culture, and you're not really out there looking for a partner, I think that a dating site it's not it. But if you're genuinely there looking for a partner, my personal opinion is that like I think that's okay because you're kind of like searching, just like Jacob's father's servant did for him. But I don't know. That's just my take. Is there any like other like lookouts on this?
Just adding on what you said, even though someone is looking for a partner, it's not wrong. But the question is, will they be able to find the person who they're looking for? I'm sure that person who asks the question, they're looking for someone who goes to church and follows God. And on the online site, you can find all sorts of people. I'm sure all those people are nice people, but do they have the same standards as you? So I guess it's where they've gone. Yeah, like they just have to find a different place to go and search for that partner.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because I think that like when you what's the word I'm looking for? Like their characteristics. I don't know if that's the word, but like their morals. Like when we're on those sites, like you said, Joyce, I think a lot of there are nice people, but a lot of them don't really stand in the same boat as like us. Like say like in our faith. I mean, like a lot of them don't really believe like we do, or they don't believe in the same things we do, and I think that can also be like detrimental to us if we're going and looking for people in these areas and they're like not of the same faith. There's like a memory verse, but I can't quite remember it. And then I was talking about being unequally yoked, like in your relationship, like in regards to your faith. And I think that's quite like an important thing just to keep in mind and keep like thinking about, because like trying to find a partner is all dandy until you find someone that like takes you away from your faith, and then that's but I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of like Adventist dating sites. I think, like, don't quote me on this. I actually don't know, but like I'm assuming there would be. But yeah,
Funny story. I've actually looked for one. There's
Wait, are there actually some? Okay, wait, okay. I'm gonna have to Google this and I'm gonna like link them all here.
I was not successful. No, I was not successful.
Huh, interesting. Okay. I'm gonna do a little bit of homework after this.
Yeah, I think the thing is like it's a bit tough because like when you're looking at how do I put it? How do I put it? I think there's if you look at the stuff that you had that you used the Isaac situation where his father's servant wants to look for a wife from in a different place. Right. So he asked to send a physical person, and that physical person went and he assessed physically as to the qualities and the characteristics of this woman, whom his son wants to marry. So it's that aspect of, if you're dating online, like, first of all, how do you define dating? Second thing is that how do you assess this person? Because ultimately, when you're dating, well, in the Adventist or Christian term of dating, it's with the intention to marry. Do you get what I'm saying? So what I'm really teach this thing of like, have like, one day bring on Jack, and the next day you bring on Tom, the next day you bring on Jerry and whatever. It's like when you meet someone who you want to marry, it has to be with the intention of, okay, I want to court you and I hope this leads us to this specific place. But then the thing is that how do you make that commitment with someone you haven't seen physically? Because the reason why I'm asking this is like, I believe dating sites are good to some extent. I think they're good for the first interactions, like meeting someone, like, let's say, because what we have in the church right now is we have an imbalance, if I should have put it bluntly. There's more women than there are men. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So the women in the church, they're having to, because there's more women than there are men, they're having to maybe look elsewhere. They either look in the world, bring a gap in the walls, as long as they have a man, or they go on a dating site and then they look there, for someone who believes the same stuff that they believe. So it's a real crisis which we have in the church. But I think the first encounter is good, but then when you get to the point of actually courting them, that's where you have to be, have that physical interaction with them and assessing them physically. Because I saw this program, me and my wife, where, on the dating sites, people in Nigeria and Ghana, they were basically scamming people online out of money. Yeah, literally, yeah. So what they have, let's say like they'll have someone's picture on their profile picture, yeah, and then they'll call you and whatever. But then like when you call them one word come, they'll be like, "Oh, my thing is not working, so I can't see you today. Let's just talk on the voice." Da, 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 da. And the people literally, man, they will fall in love with this person whom they've never met, and then they'll begin to send them money, like thousands of pounds. Oh, my house is about to be repossessed with the bank, and you send me some money. And they'll send them money because they're literally in love, because they've heard their voice, but they've never seen and assessed physically. And then they showed us the other side of those guys, and those guys were as ruthless as anything, man. They didn't care. Did you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think there is that danger of being scammed online because you don't know who they are. Yeah, so I'll add that for now, then I'll let someone.
No, that's a very true point. I think that like physically meeting someone is very important, especially in like the relationship stage, because like I can't remember what it was, but it's like there's different levels of like attraction, and if like you're liking someone through a dating site and you're talking to them, I feel like you'd probably only be able to like them for their personality because you haven't physically met them, and like you don't know what the physical chemistry is like. But on that note, did anyone else have like anything else to add to what Taku's just been talking about?
Taku, let me get this straight. So, you're saying that online dating is not the best. Not dating online. Finding someone online is not the best way, right?
Yeah, what
so,
I'm saying. Oh, yeah. All
so,
right.
so I have a question for you. So what would you advise people to do instead of doing online? Obviously the obvious answer is not doing it online.
No, what I was saying is that like online, meeting, like, let's say there's an Adventist dating website online,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's bad because you're meeting people. But I think when you're now wanting to take things to a point where you want to actually date, quote unquote, that person, it will be good to actually meet them or have someone who you physically know, meet them, and then you assess who they are. Do you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be in a place where I would begin to commit to someone emotionally who I've never met, because there's a risk that person can just be faking it. They might not be faking it, fair play. But then there's that element of, if you look at the book Adventist Home, like it talks about how a woman should assess the way that the guy treats the mother. How do you assess that online? You can't assess it online. And then you want to see, okay, how did they react in a stressful environment? You can't assess that online because online is just simply you two, so you don't really see the interactions of the human beings to see how they react to other people. Because ultimately, like, I can be anyone online. Do you get what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is it's okay to meet someone online, let's say as a friend, like, I've never met you guys physically. We've only spoken on webcam, that's literally, I don't know what you guys smell like. I don't know how tall you are. I've got no idea. You guys can tell me you're 10 feet tall. And I'll be like, okay, cool. You must be the tallest guy in New Zealand. I've got no idea. But it's like now, when I see you, we can have a rapport because we met before. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think the first interaction is not bad, but then if you want to now begin to, invest emotionally, it will be good to actually meet someone face to face or have someone you trust to meet them. Then, you can.
Just going off on that, like what Taku just said about the assessment and like assessing someone. If I can't find it straight away, we'll get to it. But there's so I went to Big Camp, which is like an Adventist like major regional camp of like all the cities of the North Island. We all went to Rotorua, and I think the pastor's name was Ty Gibson. Don't correct me if
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
wrong. I think that was his name. Yeah. And he gave like 6 pointers on what is it called? Six.
Ethan?
Oh, it's like 6 checkpoints, or like a checklist. 6 things to check off on a checklist. To assess a partner for like a lifelong marriage, basically, like a healthy lifelong marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I can only remember the first 4. So I'll just rattle them off real quick, but I'll see if I can maybe get one of my friends to message me the rest of them. So the first one, and this is not in like an order of how it's done, but it's just a list of them. So the first one that I had down was the chemistry. So like, obviously when you're online and you're like on an online dating site and you're messaging someone, like there's a different type of chemistry than there would be if you were like in person. And I think when you're in person, like that's the best way, sorry, to like really see if there's like chemistry and there's like a connection. That's the one thing that you need like for a partner, is like chemistry. The second one is character. So character is different than their personality. So character is like their morals and what they what's the word I'm looking for? Anyone want to help me on how to describe character? I'm not a walking dictionary. I'm like really like I don't know how to describe it. It's like basically their morals and like how they hold themselves and how they uphold themselves.
Behave.
Pardon?
Yeah. How they behave and
Yeah.
how they react to other people, and someone in need, all that. Yes.
Yeah, it's like those small things that you see, like does he help his mom, or does he help like does he hold his parents to like a high esteem, or does he care about his like family, like that's those, or like maybe he like cares about animals, or maybe he doesn't. It's like you have to assess their character, and if they have a good
Yeah.
character, then that's another thing to check off on the list. What were you saying, Vish?
One more in terms of character. How is their relationship with God? Because I think that's the most important.
You jumped the gun there, mate. No, but that's you, like you hit it right on the nail. So that's the third one, is like they have God-centeredness. That's another thing to look for, especially when you're like going out there and you're looking for a potential partner. These are just some things that you can look for. So there's chemistry, character, God-centeredness, and then personality. And personality, it kind of comes from their persona and how they how they portray themselves around other people. Whether they're like easygoing or whether they're like a real like douche. You just have to like gauge and see it through that. But I think that, like as Taku was saying, I think that dating sites is like, I don't think it's not trusting God, but I think if you're trying to fall in love through a dating site and only through a dating site, I don't think that's healthy. For the first interaction, I think that'll be good, like a good first point of base, and to get like kind of the foundation and like make an acquaintance. But to build a relationship, I think I'd have to agree with Taku on that one. It's not that.
I was going to ask you questions. Like, do you know how we mentioned before, like in the church, there's a known crisis. Like, it's a fact that there are more women than there are men, you know. And the Bible says it's not good for men to be alone, and vice versa, you know. And what advice can we give to people, to women, or predominantly, to be quite blunt, because it's a fact.
Please correct me if I'm wrong, but you can expand your circle. What do I mean by that? Visit other SDA churches, and just make new friends. But okay, there's no but. I've lost my train of thought. Just visit new churches. I have a funny story. Me and this other friend of mine, who I won't mention their name, but they will know who they are after seeing the story. In our younger days, way back then, we used to visit other churches because we felt like our own church did not have enough guys. So we visit other churches, make friends and everything. And right now, you know, she has someone. So just expand.
Amen. Lord.
So expand your circle, guys.
For sure. Yeah.
And also, like, I'm just pointing off what Joyce had just mentioned there, is that I think I might be wrong, but actually, no. This is a fact. Like in church, let's say Brentwood Church, right? I don't know if you guys are the same thing, because of the same thing in England, where you grew up in the same church. You're like, oh, he's like a brother to me. He's like, I can't ever see myself dating that person because we've grown up like for the last 15 years. I think that is wrong.
Someone said
it is wrong. Because the thing is, like, yes, you're not going to marry your brother, are you? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if we're in church, I am not related to you by blood. We can potentially be, people that can get married. But because we see each other's brothers and sisters simply only, but nothing more than that, I think that has had some impact in, to a lot of people as well. And another thing was, yep.
Can I add something on that before you go on?
Yeah.
Well, most of the time, the reason why we say that is maybe to send out hints that I'm not interested in anything right now, or maybe that may be focusing on God. This is just my defense. They're not
people looking for partners for everything, but others for like years. And the thing is this, like the people I'm talking about, they tend to be like, let's say it's like like let's say me and you, right? We grew up in the same church, right? And we have an amazing relationship, like friendship relationship. You get what I'm saying? We have the same sense of humor. Our parents know each other, and we've been to the same school, and we just get on like nobody's business. Did you get what I'm saying? So these people are potentially compatible to marry and to have a happy marriage. But because of this, my brother, my sister, we just say, oh, whew, it just goes.
Yeah, you get what you have to always add brothers and sisters in Christ. That'll save you a lot of confusion.
Dude, man, there's some potential people that can get married and have happy marriages. But because we block our own blessings, oh, he's my brother, oh, he's my sister. No.
Like, sorry,
I'm not your brother. I'm not your sister.
Sorry, just bouncing off what Joyce said. I'm just curious. Why I don't understand what you meant by like hints. Like, as in, what did you mean by like dropping hints? Like, as in they're not ready for a relationship now, or like is that
either they're not ready for a relationship now, or they're just not interested in that person like that.
In general. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense.
But then you guys see how the Bible goes in it, like the example that Carlos gave at the beginning of Abraham when he wanted to get a wife for Isaac. He sent his servant to the people that he knew. Did you get what I'm saying? Even the arranged marriages in the Bible, they'll go to people that they know. They wouldn't commit their child or their son and daughter to someone who they have no acquaintance with, someone who they don't even know. So I think that ideology of like, trying to distance from people that we know and to go to someone you don't know, you can potentially have like future problems in life because you're trying to make something that you don't know really much about. Yeah. Like it seems exciting at the beginning. Oh, my boyfriend lives in Christchurch and we have a great relationship. But then when you're not married, it's a different thing altogether. So sometimes someone who you know closely is better than someone you don't even know because you know their flaws, what makes them happy, their family, everything about them. You've been to camp together, Pathfinder camps, how they behave under stress, and you can be like, yes, this is the potential, guys.
So. Just bouncing off what Taku said. I think that like, not just for our ladies in the audience as well, but I think our men as well. Maybe try not to be so what's the word, like narrow-minded, because you'd probably be surprised that if you started to like open up your, I don't know what the word is, like not preferences, but it's like you'll broaden your horizons just a bit. Like you'd probably see that there are actually quite a lot of people in your church that are like suitable, like a suitable partner. But I think, yeah, sometimes we just put them in that little friend zone corner or like that little brother or sister corner.
That is a lot of people, man.
Amen, bro. I have been in that
Oh,
boat.
your wife, man.
Fam.
So
Anyways.
basically, I was gonna say, me and my wife, basically, we I went to university, right? To Sheffield University, and then it was we were on the same singing group. I'd only met her once before thingy, and then she won the same singing group, and then I saw her number there, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna sing happy birthday because it's her birthday, and I sang a happy birthday, and that was the beginning, and the rest is history. Do you get what I'm saying? So sometimes as guys, we have to be bold and approach the ladies.
The ladies.
You know, something as simple as that, literally. Now we're married, we've got a baby, we're in New Zealand. Now I know you guys, it's
Taku, the only thing, man, that I have with that is that like not all of us can sing, man. Not all of us have that gift, but like I get what you mean. I definitely get what you mean. Yeah, I think just like being bold and just like getting a little bit of courage and just that boost, and approaching your like the person that you might be attracted to. Well, this is for the ladies and men as well. I think that like maybe a little bit of courage, a little bit of prayer, and a little bit of like observing them as a person. And I think maybe you'll find that there are quite a few suitable partners that are just around, but you just haven't quite given them the chance. But yeah, if anyone else has any other
ladies as well, it's good to play hard to get, like, and all those kind of things. But give the brothers some godly hints. Do you get what I'm saying? If they're wearing a nice fit and they look nice, hey brother, you look nice. Just encourage them. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes there's guys like when you know you're trying to approach like this lady from church, this girl from church, which you really like, and you know you guys have some chemistry, and you always just get it knocked down. I think sometimes you have to be in a place where you know compliment them, you know, smile and all these things, and because they all build the chemistry and it motivates the guys to you know to go and. But above all, guys, before we forget, it's literally, I think the dating thing that we talked about, like, it has to go with what you're going there for. You're going there to meet someone who is also looking for someone as well. Because ultimately, everyone on the dating site is looking for a partner. Do you get what I'm saying? So a lot of people have the same intentions, although you have a few scammers here and there. But you know that if they're there and they're generally on that site for the right reasons, is that they are looking for the same thing that you're looking for. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think that aspect of things, you can go there, meet someone who's also got the same intention as you, who's not looking to waste your time, and also have that someone who is, let them be close, let's say maybe Auckland or New Zealand, that you can actually see physically within the church setting, so you can assess them on a physical level as well. So I don't think it's a lack of trust, to be fair. I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Just think about it. Isaac, right? He didn't even see his wife before she came. He didn't even know what she looked like. Did you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So think about that. Like, I thought you were going to go along the lines of, you know, that the battle made ready, the horse is made ready, but the victories of the Lord, in the sense that, you know, you can do all the preparations you want. Maybe you go on a dating website or you go to different churches, but it's God who ultimately leads you to your lifelong partner. You get what I'm saying? I don't know. I think I thought that's where he was going to go. So I don't know if that's what you was going to say or.
Yes, I was going for that. Thank you, Taku.
I think, sorry.
Now you want me to be
just bouncing off what Joyce has just said. I think that like with like the preparation and everything, I think that also we have to have some level of degree of trust in the Lord. But I don't think that being on a dating website means that we don't trust the Lord. But I do think that when it comes to finding our partner, that we have to kind of leave a little bit of it like to the Lord, like do our part to look and to search, but also pray. Because sometimes the outside package might look amazing and they might tick all the boxes, but maybe like the Lord knows something that you don't, and he's able to like steer you away. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you guys are out, your little lovebirds, looking for your partners. But yeah, that was just all I had for that.
If it helps, this is my personal experience. So I never went to a dating site, but right before I met my, should I say,
I can see her blush right now.
They cut this part
I know
down.
the story.
So it was, so I wasn't perfect in the Lord. That's for sure, because I was just getting into churches, and I think 2 months ago I only started going to church properly. But before I met her, 1 week before, I just prayed about it, saying that I asked God, like, okay, do you know my heart and you know my intentions? I just leave it up to you. Can you help me get a partner or a girlfriend? So exactly 1 week later, I met her, and yeah, and we are in a relationship now. And our intentions are the same. We like the same things. We almost do a lot of things together. Yeah, but so if that helps for anyone, then I'm just saying that I put my trust in the Lord and he provided.
And I think that's very powerful, having that trust. Because the Lord does provide and he's willing to provide. We just have to like ready ourselves. But yeah, did anyone else have any last closing thoughts?
A bit of reading for people out there. There is a chapter in the book, I'm Just Home. There's a lot of chapters actually where you have, I think from chapter 6 actually, all the way to chapter 14. They will help people which are contemplating a lifelong partner. And there's a book called Letter to Young Lovers, which me and my wife read when we were courting. I literally read that book, and that book is good because it gives you the questions and the things you should be looking for in the opposite sex. So I think when you get to the point where, you know, you've met this person, maybe it's online or maybe met them in a different church, the things you should begin asking and to get to know. And I'll just read this little bit here, which just kind of ties in with what I mentioned before. It says this in the book, Adventist Home, chapter 12, page 83, paragraph 2. It says this: it is often the case that persons before marriage have little opportunity to become acquainted with each other's habits and disposition. And so far as everyday life is concerned, they're virtually strangers when they unite their interests at the altar. Many find too late that they adapted to each other, and lifelong wretchedness is a result of their union. Often the wife and the children suffer from the indolence and inefficiency or the vicious habits of the husband and the father. So the point that, you know, you don't have many people, like, let's say you've met in person, but you don't really get to know their habits and their characteristics. And then you get married. And then when you get married, you now discover this other side that you've never known before. So it's literally, I've seen people who've met online and they're happily married, perfect as can be. And then I've seen the opposite extreme where things didn't really work out so well. But I think the key point is like become acquainted with that person that you meet, whether it's online or physically, and pray and pray.
Amen.
If you pray once, pray twice. If you pray twice, pray 4 times. If you pray 4 times, pray 8 times. So double your connection with God, so that way you avoid making some mistakes along the way. So those are my closing thoughts.
Tonight we've been talking a lot about other people's characteristics, like finding out how they behave and whatnot, right? But I was just wondering, what about ourselves, the people who are looking for someone? Are we right? Are characters good and acceptable? So I'd just like to encourage people out there to also look into themselves and not always look at other people like, how are they? But also look at yourselves. I just have a closing verse which says, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. So if you put God first in your life, everything in your life will just flow, everything will open. So yeah.
Just to add on to that, so even after we met, right? So the reason why I was pursuing her was because the day I met her, I heard this voice in my ear, and this is actually that happened. Like I heard saying that's one for you.
All right.
Yeah. So if
Holy Spirit is working.
so if you see, you will start hearing things, and you will be guided. And when you are pursuing something, could be anything, you will get the help from God.
Amen. I'm just gonna tie in what Vish and Joyce said, because something just popped into my head from your guys' closing remarks. Joyce was saying that we also need to work on ourselves and not just look into other partners. We should try to be the best partner we can for someone else, and that way we'll attract the best partner for us. And I'm gonna use the story of Fish and guys, I'm sorry, please don't hate me.
Blip her name if she doesn't want her name to be mentioned.
Okay, I might bleep that name. I'll edit the name out. Anyways, so basically, when two people who want to get together make God the center of everything, the center of their lives, he becomes like a gravity source, basically. So like you are here, your partner's here. If you guys both have like God in the center, the closer you get to God, the closer you guys get together. And from my personal experience and observation, I've seen that with Vish and his partner. So it's just really reassuring to know that like once we put God first in everything else will fall into place. And I just have a closing verse here from Psalms 37 verse 4. And it says, delight yourself in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. And I just think that's a really nice verse to end us off for tonight. Thank you guys for joining us on the 3rd episode of Unleashed. It's been a blast talking about this relationship subject.
This was fun.
I hope that we've been able to help you guys somehow. To the viewers that are watching, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments below, or hit us up on our Brentwood youth page, which is on Facebook and Instagram. But just feel free to either message us individually as well if you're comfortable with that. But we hope that you guys have a blessed week, and stay tuned, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.